All right, guys, so today we're going to use some of the stuff we learned yesterday to find the area shaded regions, which you don't really need circles, but it's good to know. What we're going to have to do first, though, is kind of review finding area of some of these figures because we're going to have to find them again here in just a second. So let's just review starting with a rectangle. We're just finding area, which is length times width, base times height, whatever you want to say. We know one of them is 5. So I'm going to go ahead and write that over here. But we don't know this side right here. But I do know that we have a 30, 60, 90. Across from the 30 is the x, and across from the 60 is the x square roots of 3. So since x appears to be 5, the length is 5 square roots of 3. So I'm going to write that in here. Remember, when you do this with the multiplication, multiply your two numbers and then put the square root of 3 on the end. So it looks like we'll have 25 square roots of 3, and I'm going to go ahead and put units squared since it's area. The next one, we've got a square. So again, length times width, base times height. We don't have either of them this time. If we find one, we have the other since it appears to be a square. So I do know that since it's a square broken in half, that it's a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So across from the 45s are the x's. The hypotenuse is the x square roots of 2. So that means x is 12. Now I know the length and the width. So I really have 12 times 12, which is 144 units squared. So those are pretty easy. Probably the toughest one is going to be the equilateral triangle. It gives us this radius right here. So what we're going to have to do, and the easiest way to find the area, is going to use 1/2 of the apothem times the perimeter, and we can find both of those. Since it's equilateral triangle, when we draw the apothem and the radius, we get a 30, 60, 90 triangle, which means this is x, and this is x square roots of 3. They also gave us the 2x side. Well, if 2x is 8, then x is 4. So now I have my apothem, so 1/2 of 4. But I can use that to go down here and find that this is actually 4 square roots of 3. Now I need the perimeter. If that's 4 square roots of 3, so's this, which means my side lengths are 8 square roots of 3. I have 3 of them, so I get my perimeter is 24 square roots of 3. Now I can do my multiplication. Half of 4 is 2. 2 times 24 gives me 48. And don't forget your square root of 3 units squared. So that's a little bit tougher than the other ones, but it's still not that bad. Let's look at this last one, probably the easiest one. We talked about these yesterday. Area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. That's pi times 10 squared because they gave us the radius. Now, when you're using pi, it's sort of like using those square roots that we used a minute ago. You're going to have pi in your answer. You can go ahead and write it down here and then finish it up. And of course, 10 squared is 100. So 100 pi units squared. Let's look at the next page. Here are the way that shaded figures work. Like, we can't take really the area of something with a curve on one side and these straight lines on the other. There's no formula that's going to do that for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the area of the outside. And in this case, the square is on the outside. And we're going to subtract the area of the inside, which in this case, the inside shape is a circle. So we have to find two areas. I'm going to put area of the square. And I know since it's a square, it's length times width. Well, they were really nice this time. They told us the side length is 8, which means all the side lengths are 8. So our length and width are 8. 8 times 8 is 64. Now we need to find the area of the circle. I think C will suffice, which is pi times r squared. Now, they didn't actually give us anything about the circle except for we know the length of the sides of the square, which happens to be the same as our diameter. So I know the diameter equals 8, which means the radius must be 4. So I'm going to come over here, pi times 4 squared, which is 16 pi. Now, I'm going to kind of write this out. I'm going to put the area of the outside minus the area of the inside. And you don't have to write that out. That's 64 minus 16 pi. And then, of course, we'd probably put units squared. Now, I can't combine those guys. This is just like having like 4 minus 2x or 8 square roots of 2 plus 6. You can't combine those. That pi is making it to where you can't, so that is your answer. Okay, so you're just finding areas just like we've been doing. Now on this one, it looks like the area of my outside is going to be a circle. So I'm finding the area of a circle. So pi r squared. Now, so I need the radius. Luckily, they gave it to me. That's why that piece of that triangle is called the radius. That's going from the side of the actual circle to the center. So I have pi times 6 squared. So I get 36 pi. That was pretty easy. Now the area of the triangle is a little bit tougher. We're going to use the 1/2 AP. So I need to find those things, but we kind of already did this earlier. It's just a little bit different. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this in. I need both those side links. Well, I know that's my 2x side because this is a 30, 60, 90. Okay, we just did one like this. So if 2x is 6, then x is 3. So now I know my apothem. If 3 is x, x square roots of 3 is 3 square roots of 3. It may be tough to see that. Sorry about it. Sorry about that. Change colors, which means this is 3 square roots of 3. Let me draw an arrow. So each side would be 6 square roots of 3. So we need the perimeter. 4 times 6 is 24. No, I'm sorry. What is it? 3 times 6. What am I doing? So I really have 1/2 of my apothem, 3, times my perimeter, 18 square roots of 3. I ended up with 27 square roots of 3. So again, that's the tough one. So if you're having trouble with those, please ask. So I have the area of the outside minus the area of the inside. That's 36 pi. I don't know why I wrote 26. 36 pi minus 27 square roots of 3. We cannot combine those. And I'm going to go ahead and put units squared. So we can put that in a calculator, but we just need to keep it like that for now. We got 2 more. I think we got all the tough ones out of the way. So it looks like, first off, I need to find the area of a circle, pi r squared. And guys, you don't have to be writing out the formula every time if you don't need to. I think they gave us r this time. It looks like they told us the diameter was 12, which means r is 6. 6 squared times pi will be 36 pi. So there's our first one. That was pretty easy. But this time they gave us a trapezoid. And I don't know if you remember this one. It's going to be 1/2 the sum of the bases times the height. And they actually gave us pretty much everything we need except for the height. So I know the bases are 8 and 12. Then we have to take half of that. So really all I need to find is h, which is right here. Now, this and this, if I cut that out of the bottom, that means I have 8 units from here to here, which means there's 4 units left for the whole outside. So each of these must be 2, okay? You know, they have to add up to 12. The 8 got cut out. That is across from my 30-degree angle here. So that means that is x. And if x is 2, then x square roots of 3 must be 2 square roots of 3. So h is 2 square roots of 3. Now again, that's kind of tricky to find that height, but if you're having trouble with the special rights, we need to get together and figure that out. So order of operations would say I'd do 1/2 times 20 times 2 square roots of 3. 20 times 2 would be 40, and half of 40 would be 20 square roots of 3. So now we've got the area of my trapezoid. Now big minus small, I'm just going to go ahead and write this out, would be 36 pi minus 20 square roots of 3 units squared. So guys, all we're doing is just finding more and more of these areas. Last one, area of a circle, pi r squared. It didn't give us the diameter this time, but it gave us 2 sides of a rectangle. So we'll say those are A and B, and we can find C, the hypotenuse. So that'd be 12 squared plus 16 squared equals C squared. That's 400 equals C squared. This means C is 20. And if the diameter is 20, that means our radius is 10. So we got 100 pi to start off. Then the area of the rectangle, that's the easier of the two. Length times width, it looks like they gave it to us, is 12 and 16, which is 192. So my answer, 100 pi minus 192 units squared. So guys, it's really just repeating everything that we've been doing over again. Don't forget to do the outside minus the inside. It's easy to flip that. If you have any questions, just let me know. Good luck.